I want to share with you something I've been thinking about now for a little while, because you've all been privy to some of the comments that I've received about how come there's so many atheists on your channel. Why are you so happy about atheists and agnostics and non-believers and non-Christians on your channel? And basically telling me that I'm doing the wrong thing because this is, I'm a Christian priest, and therefore why am I surrounded by non-Christians and happy about it? A statement came back. Oh gosh, it was a while back. I've been planning this for a little bit, but a statement was made to me one time. Why do you listen to non-Christians? Why do you count on the opinions of non-Christians? Why do you accept what non-Christians have to say about the church and about Christianity? And I do. That's a true statement. I do really count on Christians. I don't count on a non-Christian to inform my faith, in that they should tell me what it is that I believe, and I don't necessarily listen to an atheist or an anti-theist, I would say, who wants to debunk my faith or point me in another direction, or point me in their direction. That's not what it is. But I do have a deep desire to hear about the church from outside of the church. I want to know, desperately want to know, what non-Christians, non-believers, atheists, agnostics, people who've left the church, whatever it may be. I want to know how they perceive the church today. I want to know what they observe about the Christian church today. Not just my own denomination, that's lovely, but the church universal, as it exists, especially as they see it. And the reason I want that is because there's no point in asking the people who are in church. There's no point asking the people in church what they think about the church, because obviously what they think about the church is enough to keep them in church. It's enough to keep them in the pews. It's enough to keep them happy with our direction and with the things that are going on. If I were, for example, to go to a congregation and say, listen, what do you like about church? And they said, well, we like the music. Great, then we need to keep doing the music like this. Who is it that music will appeal to? Most likely, it'll appeal to the people already in the building. Will it appeal to the people outside of the building? I have no idea. Probably not. It's that mentality. When we ask for and receive input from people from the outside, we're more likely to get an unbiased opinion of what's going on inside. Let me show you something. That image it's a mock-up image. It's a recent thing, but that image corresponds with a story out of the Second World War. And to be try to be very brief about this, the Army Air Force was sending bombers to bomb Nazi positions and factories and cities. And they were seeing high numbers of casualties. A lot of planes just weren't coming back. And so they began to do a statistical study of the planes that were coming back. They began looking for all the different places on the plane that had been damaged, and as an indicator, they took that as an indicator of where the planes were most likely to get hit. And because the plane was most likely to get hit there, their plan was to put extra armor on those areas as feasible, as much as it was feasible. A statistician in the United States, I believe he was actually a German-born Jewish man, a statistician from New York, I think, but don't quote me on that. He said, no, absolutely not. Wrong idea. The places where you need to put armor on the plane are the places that have no red dots, the places where you're not recording any hits, because all of the planes that you're taking these statistics from are planes that made it back. The planes that didn't make it back are the planes that got hit in these safe areas. those are the areas that you need to address. It was called survivor's bias. Based on the people who survived, what should we do? You really, if you're trying to save lives, you want to base whatever action you take on those who didn't make it. If you want to make planes safer, you don't look at the plane and say, we want to armor up these areas where the plane was hit. You say, we want to armor up the areas where the plane received no damage, because those are the planes that didn't come back. In my diocese, and you've seen this before, I've seen this in corporations as well. When I worked in the corporate world, they would have a retreat. And they have this retreat, and some people love them, and most people don't. And the people that don't will find a reason not to go. And I am one of those people. Even in my diocese here, they do retreats, and I'm not, do I have to go to this? And every now and then the bishop will say, yes, you do. Yes, you are expected to be there. And so I'll go. And I will, every time I go, I am reminded of why I don't like going. There's nothing there for me. And I have offered the observation that if you want more people to go, stop just counting on the people who usually go to these things to tell you what they want, to tell you what you should do next. Because all you're getting is the input from the people who are going. If you want more people to go, you have to get input from people who don't go. So rather than putting on an evaluation form, what would you like to see next time? Or rather than giving the participants an evaluation form about how they enjoyed their time and what they would like to see next time, give an evaluation form to non-participants and ask them, why didn't you go? What didn't you like about the retreat as far as you understood it? What would you like to see in the future? If you do that, again, you're getting the information from people that you are actually seeking out. When it comes to why do I listen to non-Christians, it's because their opinion is going to be most honest. Their observations are going to be coming from a place that isn't trying to protect what is already here. Their perceptions are going to be based on eyes that are not accustomed to the way things have always been done. Those outside observers, new people who come to church, I want to know what you have to say. I want to know what it is you're thinking. I want to know how you perceived this whole thing. That is new people who come to church. What was it like? That's what I'll ask them. Did we scare you? Was it boring? What was it like? Not like I don't jump them at the door the first Sunday they're here, but I want to hear. I want to hear what they picked up, because there's no reason for them to, apart from maybe protecting my feelings, there'd be no reason for them to try to protect what is. It's incredibly valuable for us to listen to what outsiders have to say. They might not understand everything, and that's true, right? They may have a whole other bias that has to be excluded from the report. But people on the outside can offer us a wonderful gift of a wealth of information that people on the inside simply will not give us. That's why I listen to non-Christians. That's why I listen to atheists and agnostics. That's why I listen to anti-theists. That's why I listen to people who have been harmed by the church and have left the church. I listen to people who are angry with the church. If we are going to grow, to truly be a church that is a representative of Jesus Christ in the world, we need to know what the Gentiles are thinking. We need to know what those people who are on the outside are feeling. We need to know what they need. We need to know how we failed. We need to know how we're failing. If we're going to be a true representative of Jesus Christ in this world, a true diplomat, a true ambassador for Jesus Christ to the world, we need to hear from the world. We need to hear from the world around us. We need to be able to learn their languages. We need to be able to understand their ways. We need to be able to convey how we do things so that they're not turned off by it and afraid by it. We, probably most importantly, may need to learn how to change our language in order to meet them where they are. We need to change our ways in order to meet them where they are. Amen.